Okay, so on page 136, if you could turn in your workbook to page 136, you're going to see a check problem. If you need it, you can go back to 135 and there is an example problem that shows you how to do long division with a double-digit divisor. I'm going to do this problem with you. If you want a little bit of a challenge right now, maybe you should pause the video, try this problem on your own, and when you're ready and you have your answer, hit play. See if you got the answer right. So go ahead and try the problem right now, hit pause, and then hit play when you're ready. So now that you've tried this problem on your own, 52,428, the first number when a division problem is written like this, the first number is the dividend and it goes in the inside of the division bracket. The other number is called the divisor, it goes on the outside. I don't know my 34s facts, because remember we talked about in the last video, all division is, all it means is how many times does the divisor go into the dividend. So I don't know my 34s facts, that's why estimation might be really helpful in this problem. In order to start this problem though, I'll really kind of go into estimating with the next problem. That'll be the last example problem that we do together. But this one right here is a really good one because 34 doesn't obviously go into 5, so we can put our 0 as a placeholder, but 34 does go into 52, that would be one time. I do know 34 times 2 is 68. That's as far as I know my 34's facts. In a second I'll show you how I would think about this mentally so I'm not wasting a bunch of time. All right, but 34 times 1 is 34. We're going to subtract. You can cross this out and make this a 12 and borrow from the 5, but what I do, I don't like to make this really messy by crossing things out. I try to think, how far is 34 from 52? Personally, if I was to add 20 to 34, it'd be 44, 54, which would be 2 more than 52. So it's not quite 20, that would be 18. Either way, however you want to subtract those, you got to make sure that you are doing the subtraction right, so the rest of the problem is correct as well. So now that we subtracted, 18 is less than 34, we're going to bring down the next number, which would be the 4. I am going to bring my comma up into the answer so I don't forget it. You could always do that at the end if you have a 4-digit number. Obviously, there's going to be a comma in there. This is where it does get tricky. I remember being your age, sitting in class, and I don't know my 34's facts. Nobody does. I started just guessing. I don't know, 34 times 3, 34 times 6, 34 times 8. I have no idea. The best thing that you can do in this situation is cover up one of the numbers on each of them, and it becomes kind of like a basic fact. If you cover up the 4, that would be how many times does 3 go into 18, which would be 6. So I might go on the right side of my paper and try 34 times 6, but since that's 34 and not really 30, we went down. I think maybe I'm going to go 1 less to try to see if it fits in. So I'm going to do 34 times 5 on the side. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 170. And 170 is as close as we're going to get to 184. We wouldn't be able to fit another 34. So 5 is going to work. I'm going to put the 5 here. 5 times 34 is 170. All right, now I'm going to subtract. This is going to be 14. 14 is less than 34. We're going to continue bringing down the numbers. That'd be 2. Same thing. 3 and a 14. 3 times 4 is 12. So I think 34 times 4 is going to be as close as we're going to get here. 34 times 4, 16. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1. That's really close. 4 looks like it's going to work. 4 times 34 is 136. And again, I would not borrow from the 4 here. You can if you're more comfortable doing it that way. But in my head, 36, these are both hundreds, so it's really 42 minus 36. 36 is only 6 away from 42. I'm going to bring down my last number, 8. I don't need to write this one out because I do know 34 times 2 is 68. And we have nothing left over. So 52,428 divided by 34 is 1,542. If you would like to check that with a calculator today, you can use your iPad as a calculator, or you can use your actual calculator, and either you can do 1,542 times 34 and see if that equals 52,428, or you can actually type in the division problem and you see if you got it right. Go ahead and check out the final video for the day. We're going to try it with a triple digit divisor.